So let's talk about privacy. Just how private is it, really? Is there a line, a point where one person's right to keep a secret just has to give way to the safety of everyone else? It's a tough one, right? Let's dive into this very question and explore the limits to privacy. Okay, to really get into this, let's paint a picture. This is a hypothetical case, but just imagine this with me. We've got a 35-year-old guy. His job isn't just a job, it's his whole life. And it's a job with some serious responsibility. He's a bus driver. Think about that. Every single day, he's got the lives of his passengers in his hands. And then, one day, boom, he gets news that just completely flips his world upside down. He's diagnosed with epilepsy. So what's his first reaction? It's pure fear. You can just picture him turning to his doctor, and his voice is probably shaking when he says, "Please, doctor, don't tell anyone. I'll lose my job." I mean, you can just feel the weight of that, can't you? We're talking about his livelihood, his identity, how he provides for his family. Literally everything is on the line. And boom, right there, that's the conflict. It's crystal clear. His plea, it's powerful, it's so human, you get it. But it just immediately slams us with this huge question, not just for the doctor, but for all of us. What about the safety of his passengers? I mean, seriously, what happens if he has a seizure at the wheel of a bus packed with people? And this right here, this is the very heart of the ethical conflict. It's this intense, head-on clash between one person's right to privacy and the need to keep the public safe. And what's so tough is that both sides are incredibly compelling, right? On the one side, you've got the patient's plea. It's all about his basic right to privacy, about that sacred trust between a doctor and a patient. I mean, his whole life could be ruined. But then you look at the other side, the public's risk. We're not talking about some small, abstract what if. This is the very real potential for catastrophic harm to a busload of people. It's all about community safety. So, what do you do? Where do you draw that line? Well, this brings us to a really crucial concept, the limit of confidentiality. It all boils down to this one question. When does the duty to protect everyone else override the duty to protect one person's secret? Well, the answer actually has a name. It's a principle called the duty to warn. Now, what this means is that a professional, like a doctor, has an ethical and often legal obligation to share confidential information. But, and this is a huge but, it's only for one very specific reason, to prevent serious actual harm. So let's be super clear. This is not some free pass to just spill the beans. It's a very, very narrow exception that's only for the most dire circumstances. This really gets to a core idea of what it means to live in a society. A right to privacy, it's sacred, for sure. But it's not absolute. It doesn't exist in a bubble. It's always limited by the rights and the safety of the other people in our community. Because our actions, and yes, sometimes even our private medical conditions, can have a huge ripple effect on everyone around us. And hey, this isn't just some philosophical debate. This has teeth. There's a major legal precedent here. Back in 1976, there was a landmark case called Tarasoff v. Regents of University of California, and it changed everything. A court actually held a therapist responsible because they didn't warn someone that their patient was a danger. That ruling was absolutely monumental. It's what cemented this duty to warn as a serious ethical and legal responsibility. Okay, so back to our bus driver and his doctor. What should the doctor do now? Well, it's not as simple as just picking up the phone, making a report, and washing his hands of it. No way. This is about a professional's dual duty. The solution isn't just about reporting, it's also about caring. Big difference. So, here's the ethical roadmap, if you will. Step 1, prevent harm. That's the priority. The doctor has to inform the relevant people, like the bus company, about the potential danger. But it doesn't stop there. Step 2, advise the patient. And this is just as important. The doctor needs to sit down with him, really explain the condition, what the limitations are, and help him start planning for what's next. And finally, step 3, show charity. This goes way beyond just the medical side of things. It means actually helping the guy look for other jobs, other possibilities. See? It's about protecting the public while also taking care of the individual. So when you step back and look at this whole complicated situation, what's the big lesson? Well, it really comes down to this delicate balancing act between our rights and our responsibilities. And what a case like this teaches us is something fundamental about what it even means to live together in a community. All right, let's nail down the key takeaways here. First off, our individual rights don't exist in a vacuum. They're part of a bigger community. Second, privacy isn't limitless, especially when public safety is at stake. Third, professionals, like doctors, have this tough dual duty to both their client and the public. And finally, and maybe most importantly, the real ethical answers are almost never black and white. They usually require a mix of preventing harm and showing real compassion. And that brings us to the final big question that we should all probably think about a little more. Yeah, our story was about a bus driver, but this principle, it applies everywhere in so many different situations you can probably think of. So I'll leave you with this. When does our duty to our community outweigh an individual's right to privacy? There are no easy answers here, but it's a question we absolutely have to keep asking.